Hi guys, upon request, here's more Valtan normal bus runs. Since I only have 5 classes that are able to do this, as mentioned on the Blade Valtan bus run, my friends are providing me the play videos for help, and myself commentating on them. Foss is someone who helped me on the Scrapper class video. He has 6 Scrappers and knows pretty much everything about Scrappers. This is his overgear Taijutsu build. He can definitely solo hard mode, but for simplicity and quickness, I've asked him to do normal for consistency. His eye level is 1550 Taijutsu build. It's Taijutsu, Ambush Master, Keen Blunt, Curse Doll, and Grudge, with high crit build. Reason why his crit is so high is because he took Curse Doll instead of Adrenaline. Since he is missing 15% crit from the engraving, he needs to bring it from somewhere else, to make sure his Keen Blunt engraving is viable. 1779 crit is about 63.67%, with entropy set at 20, bonus crit rate from back attacks default additional 10%, his total crit rate on Taijutsu back attack is 93.67. which makes his Keen Blunt super efficient and damage increase. Flat increased damage of Curse Doll isn't bad either, so make sure everyone understand that there are so many ways to balance out your build. Before starting the run, sometimes some classes need to make sure to put some extra overwhelm rooms due to Lugara's stagger mechanic on lines 30 and 15. There won't be as much commentary because it's a bus run, but I will add it accordingly. So something important about Scrapper, you always need to land your back attacks and start with Charging Blow. So you start Charging Blow and then use your W skill, E skill to keep the synergy on. And then your main damage skill, your A, S, and D skill. And the F skill is a counter, but it can also be used as a sub DPS skill as well. So in this point, the Esther gauge at the top left, you guys always know, it needs to fill up before line 30. So he needs to control the DPS sometimes, but when you do in a 2 versus 1 mode here, you kind of want to do some more DPS so that the other Lugaro runs away. Well, Lucas, that's his other name. So from full HP to up to 36, you're focusing on the red one and the blue one appears. And the blue one's gonna disappear anytime soon, about 34 to like 33. So the Esther gauge is spelled up at the top left right now, so he can push without any problems. So the 30th mechanic starts, so he's gonna spawn away. He's gonna do some little bit of stagger at the top. Then he's going to eat all the marbles. He made a little bit of mistake there, so he's going back and forth, that's fine. And then he's doing the rest of the stagger. So that was pretty dangerous there. But people, even I make mistakes all the time. So the problem is if you eat the orbs in a wrong order, what happens is you get an immediate wipe. So people will need to watch out for that. So the second one, Lucas, comes out. So the blue one. So he's going to spawn the red one soon. And this one is even longer because the Esther gauge on the top left is only half. So he needs to jog and wait a little bit. So here at the same time, so look at him, he's moving. He's making sure he sees the pattern first. And then he uses the Charging Blow to get the attack buff. So he's gonna start with Charging Blow. And then he uses the main DPS skills. That's the main go-to for Scrappers. Always have to land your Charging Blow. Always. So at this point, it's different per people. Some people wait at the 2v1 area. And some people chases the 2v1 away and then proceed to do the damage. Seems like Foss does the first method where he just chills out until the Esther gauge fills up. So another thing I kind of want to talk about while looking at this, sometimes when you're doing an Allegiant raid, staying super far away is actually pretty bad in this game. Staying in a mid to a little too close range is better because you'll see most of the patterns, and sometimes you can tend to go behind them like really quickly in a clockwise or counterclockwise formation because most of the skills are in cone shaped. Like for example, that grab just there that Lucas did, the blue one. If you don't see it, you won't be able to dodge it in time. But if you see him doing the dodge, you can see the telegraphs and dodge it a little bit easier. So as you notice him, he's like staying a little bit closer and he gets hit less because he knows the two bosses, like he knows what he's doing, right? And if it's closer, it's a little better. So I think instead of being scared and being super far range, let's say for sometimes like a Sork like gunslingers, like with long range classes, maybe trying to stay at a shotgun range. Shotgun range and a little more is okay, but not too far away because you don't know what the boss is going to do. And sometimes that leads to wipes as well. So that's like a little bit of tip there. So we have that there. So he's proceeding to do his attacks. And as noticed, look how many yellow numbers he's getting because he has high crit. So Scrapper needs a lot of high crit because all she does is back attack. So there you go. He's doing the way. He's gonna eat all the orbs. Yep. In an order. And then he proceeds to do an additional stagger to finish it up. Now this is over. Like, you know, there's no anything dangerous there. So he's going to full on DPS until he transforms. So the purple mode has both red and blue version of the patterns. So just need to watch out on that one. But in either way, it's not that hard. And when he usually gets into like the 4 and the 3rd bar, he does that grab mechanic you guys have seen before, where you dodge it with the space bar. I think it's either 3 minutes or 2 minutes too. It's either time or by bar. But the perfect way to dodge that is looking at the boss's bar, and if a lock sign comes out, that means he's doing a special pattern. So you kind of look at the lock sign and press a space bar when a lock sign kind of appears. That's how you actually would dodge it. But since Foss is so strong, he'll probably not see the pattern. This is also why some people do normal, because if you do hard and tend to get hit by that attack twice, if you fail to stagger twice, what he does is he does an immediate wipe, which it sucks. Also, there you go. So you saw he almost finished it, but he did this special pattern. So usually he spaces it, but since it was so low in HP, he only has like 278k. He just got hit by that, but that's fine though. Because in this case, if this was his second attack, the second version, it would be an immediate wipe. So that's good. Now starting with Valtan, you obviously take the time stop and the potion. You don't really need anything else other than that. The same procedure when Valtan does his headbutt charge, you make sure he lands on the pillars so that he gets stunned. And you proceed to eat those orbs. So all 8 people would need to eat the orb to pass the Valtan's 130th line mechanic. So this particular attack that he does is a good damage opportunity for back attackers. So he proceeds to do that. Goes back, so he's going to do the headbutt charge, or he's going to do maybe like 4 patterns. There you go. He does the headbutt right away. So when he headbutts, the orb disappears, the orb drops, and if you eat the orb, the Esther gauge fills up a little faster. But it didn't fill up to full. So what he's going to do, he's going to wait until it lands. And if he doesn't headbutt, he's actually super overgeared to a point that you don't need to take off his armor, but we'll see. Because if you don't destroy his armor, he has a 20% extra defense. So you do 20% less damage of what you have. As you see on the top of the bar, it says X2. So let's see, he's going to do about like 3 or 4 patterns. So, and since he has 147 bars of health, he does the mechanic at 130. So as long as it doesn't fall down below 130, he is still fine. So I think he's going to look for an opportunity to destroy his armor using Thyrane. Yep, there you go. So he's doing the headbutt and he's going to spawn that Thyrane, the boy. Yep. So Thyrane has a maximum amount of weak point destruction. So regardless of what Valtan is, he's going to destroy 1 armor. And I think the Valtan's armor count is about 45, I think. Because everyone needs to throw the destruction bomb, and 1 person will need to throw the corrosive bomb. And then landing some destruction skills will destroy the armor twice. That's the generic strategy that you should do. So at 80th bar, he destroys the stage, but before that, he jumps up to the sky. About at 100 or like at 90-ish. So it's the inside-outside pattern. Dodges it very easily. So someone like a Scrapper always stay at his back, and Valtan is a slower Legion raid, so you can always stay on his back unless he does like a special pattern. So there you go, he does this jump. He dodges the pattern, and then he jumps up and it just falls back down. It chooses 1 person to... So Valtan chooses 1 person, and what he needs to do is needs to, aim the attack somewhere else and hide behind a pillar. This gets a little bit crazier when there's all 8 people. So you have to make sure you don't try to kill people with that. There you go. So here you go, staying on his back. Dashes away a little bit, and he's gonna do the Dragon Advent or charging below. That works too. Charging below again. Goes back. So the third and the fourth hit is the same spot. So what he does is he dodges 2 hits and he goes behind them and proceeds to do the attack. So this is the marble gimmick. He needs to counter it. So he counters him there, and then he uses the hourglass because the balls explode. And if 4 balls explode and you get hit by the 4 balls, it's an immediate wipe. It does a lot of damage. But there's another way to not use a hourglass. It's just you would eat 1 ball, you counter him, and then you just proceed to get hit because it's not going to do enough damage. There you go. He proceeds to destroy the left side. It's random, by the way. It's either left or right. At HP bar 60, he's going to do the grab mechanic as well. So he needs to hide behind the pillar here. And he does the attack again. So it's always good to destroy 2 pillars so that you destroy the 2 pillars there, and then the other 2 pillars explode. He's going to do the whirlwind, jumps away, either Dragon Advent or the charging blow. So this thing, you just need to get hit. And sometimes if you're super unlucky, he uses this pattern like multiple times where you actually can't do anything about it. That's a very, very rare case, but it has happened before. And people kind of understand because there's no way to not wipe from that. And also you notice when he was getting hit, he used Dragon Advent. Why? Because Dragon Advent is super armor. So before he gets hit, to land just a couple more hits, he just doesn't Dragon Advent so that he can land more hits while like not trying to dodge. Now this is the grab mechanic. You need to counter him at the right time. There's a specific timing for that. When he growls twice, that's when you kind of counter. There you go. He does the inside-outside pattern. So the axe is glowing, right? So it's outside safe first and then inside. He does a thigh rain here for additional damage. That's good. So he's staying on his back again. So this thing is a cross, so he can't really do anything about that. So he's gonna stay at the 5 and 7. Charging blow again. He does his main DPS. Charging blow again, main DPS. He's gonna fall back a little bit because he's gonna whirlwind and come back to his position. Charging blow. Synergy skill, damage, charging blow, synergy skill, damage, repeat. The best Scrapper players always never miss an opportunity to do the back attack. Doesn't matter what boss it is. So Faust's controls are really good. It's like top tier. He manages to do a lot of damage because he doesn't miss those opportunities. He doesn't miss those small window of opportunities to just land 1 more skill in. I think that's like the best fun part of Scrapper. Because you need to be efficient in your movement and keep landing your back attacks and utilize all your skills perfectly, like super armor skills, to land all your skills. That is the same pattern that happened. The 2 pillars explode. There you go. Charging blow, damage. Charging blow, damage. There you go. So this is a counter. So sometimes, yeah, so I noticed like sometimes if you miss a counter there, you fall and die. So it's a very smart that you kind of dodge the first counter and then get ready for the second counter. Because sometimes this happened to me too. I try to counter it, and then if you screw up once, you have to restart the raid again, right? So you don't want to take that chance. So when you're running a bus, always have safeness to your first priority instead of clearing it faster. Because imagine you have to do it again. You have to start from 160. So you're all the way up here. The whirlwind. So at 15, he's going to go away, and then he's gonna do his last attack. So you saw that Dragon Advent, right? He didn't fly away. If you don't have a super armor, you sometimes get hit by the wave, and then get hit by the second wave sometimes, and then you could die. So you notice when you dodge the cone attack, if you stay closer, since you have to move a little bit less, you can dodge those things better. But in this case, you have to circle on a little bigger side because Valtan's attacks actually do hit you when you're closer, and you can actually die too. So he hides behind the pillar, dodges the pillar explosion, and the ghost phase starts. When the ghost phase starts, it's a 30 bar again with 4 stacks of defense. So you have to see the times 4 over there. Times 4 decreases when you land a counter, and he does a grab 3 times. So this is like the 39th bar, so he does a grab. I think he does it on the 25th and then the 15th. So when you have a bar 25, you kind of get ready for the grab, and then bar 15 you kind of get ready for the grab. So the first counter appeared, he counters it. So in this case, his counter cooldown is pretty long. It's 13 seconds, right? So in this case, if a next pattern comes out to be a counter, I think what he's going to do is, oh, there you go. So it's 5 seconds though. So I think he's going to either spacebar or use a Dragon Advent to avoid it. So he just straight up avoided it. That's good. But he also has a Dragon Advent as an option. Because if you can't counter it, you have to dodge that. Because if you get hit by that, you could fly away and drop from the stage. Very important. There you go. Still goes behind him. Next counter appeared, and his counter is ready, so he counters him there. Proceeds to the back attack. So here we go. So let's see if he does the Dragon Advent. See, yep, see? So he does a Dragon Advent there so that he doesn't get launched up in the air and die. Very good usage of super armor skills. Charging blow there. Keep doing the damage. He only has 12 bars left. The grab is there. That's the last grab. That's the last grab. Keep doing the damage. Charging blow damage. Yep. This seems to be a clean run. So this is fine because this is not super armor, but you don't get staggered from that, from the whirlwind. Sometimes you get hit away from the whirlwind if you don't use different skills. And that concludes the video. Whenever I get some runs from my friends, I'll keep on doing this for every single class. As always, thanks guys. Bye.